Everyone gets into fights with their parents. It's just a part of growing up. Though kids may threaten they are running away or they don't want to be under the care of their parents anymore, usually these statements aren't taken seriously. Sadly, that wasn't the case for these child stars, who ended up taking their parents to court or punishing them for their bad behavior. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe, and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are discussing 10 child stars who rejected their parents. You won't believe what one Modern Family actress's mom did to make her cut their family ties. Stay tuned to find out. Selena Gomez. She's one of the biggest stars on the planet, and she got there with a little help from her mother and stepfather. While Selena Gomez accomplished a lot by having her mom and stepdad as managers, it didn't stop her from giving them the axe when she got older. The singer explained that after her Disney career ended, she was feeling lost. Around that time, Gomez revealed that she had an identity crisis. The young star wasn't sure what she was doing, but she felt she needed to figure it out on her own. Much like a high school graduate navigating college on their own, the singer wanted to do the same for her next chapter of her career. When news broke about Gomez firing her parents, everyone was in complete shock, even her family, who had no idea it was happening. In the end, the singer simply outgrew her parents and wanted bigger and better representation. Gomez's mom reportedly called the ex-Disney star after she heard the reports, and Gomez confirmed the split. As painful as this was for her family, there actually wasn't any drama between the mother and daughter. It also looks like Gomez made the right decision because her career is bigger and better than ever. Sometimes you just have to spread your wings and fly. That is exactly what the young star has been able to do since separation from her parents' representation. Billie Unger. In 2013, Disney star Billie Unger, who now wants to be named William Brent, thought he was getting a good deal when he agreed to let his dad be his manager and financial advisor. Sadly, a few years later, he would find out that it was actually a huge mistake. In 2015, after finding out his father misused his hard-earned money, the actor took him to court. There, Unger explained that not only was his father taking a huge 33% of his paycheck, that is double the amount of what is acceptable, the lab rat star also claimed his dad had no business being a financial advisor, mostly because he lacked the necessary skills. The actor's parent even took money from his account for personal reasons. The deceptive dad spent $6,000 on an apartment for his girlfriend. He even spent around $1,200 on a $1 million life insurance policy for his son, which he named himself the sole benefactor of. Sounds a little fishy, right? Unger's attorney tried to settle with the actor's father out of court, but he was having none of it, so Unger ended up suing his dad. When asked about the lawsuit, his father explained that it was because Unger was influenced by a negative person who wanted to inflict pain. And since he didn't name any names, no one is quite sure who the negative person might have been. Leighton Meester. Growing up, Leighton Meester didn't have the easiest childhood. The actress was mostly raised by her grandmother after her mother gave birth to her in a halfway house. Her ex-con mom was serving a federal sentence for a substance smuggling charge when Meester was born. After her mother finished her sentence, she had high hopes for her beautiful daughter. When Meester was 10, she became a model and moved from Florida to NYC with her mom. The pair ended up in Los Angeles when the actress was 14. Acting as her manager, Meester's mother took her to auditions and acting classes until it finally paid off. Then, as the actress started making more money, she would send some to her mother to help take care of her sick brother. Eventually, Meester cut her mother off, but she was still sending money for her brother's medical bills. Then, in 2011, the actress filed a lawsuit against her mother. Meester found out her mother was using the monthly checks for plastic surgery and other things that weren't for her brother. Of course, her mother denied any wrongdoings and filed a counterclaim for $3 million. The greedy mom also said she would drop the lawsuit if Meester raised her monthly checks from $7,500 to $10,000. Needless to say, the two aren't on the best terms these days. Amanda Bynes. Being raised in a suburb of Los Angeles made it easy for Amanda Bynes to transition into stardom. When she was little, her sometimes stand-up comedian father encouraged Bynes to get into acting. Little did they know that by 1999, she would end up with her own TV show on Nickelodeon. Though the child star seemed to have her life together, in 2011, everything came to a crashing halt. In her late teens, her family dynamic was completely thrown off, and Bynes even sought to emancipate herself from her parents. Apparently, her parents were very controlling, to the point that her father was calling all the shots for her and her career. She eventually withdrew the petition to legally separate from her parents. During that time, she was relying heavily on her Nickelodeon producer and his wife for moral support. Then, by 2010, she announced she was ending her acting career, and she started her public meltdown. The actress made things worse by lashing out against her dad in 2014 with a disturbing Twitter rant. Bynes claimed that her father physically and verbally abused her growing up. She later deleted the tweets, stating that a microchip her father put in her brain caused her to say those things. emotions. After the rant, Bynes was placed in psychiatric care. Thankfully, she has cleared the air about her dad, and she is doing much better these days. She is sober and looking forward to getting back into acting. Jena Malone. Though Jena Malone's mother didn't have a lot of money when she was younger, it didn't stop her from helping her daughter pursue her dream. Then, when she was 9 years old, the child star impressed audiences with an incredible performance in a Showtime movie, and the rest was history. Soon after the dazzling performance, Jena Malone became the it girl of the late 90s child star world. But it came at a hefty price. By the time the actress was 14, she realized that her mother had squandered a good portion of her money. Malone accused her mother of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars for bad investments and loans to family members. Because of this, the teen filed to become a legal adult and separate herself from her mother's care. A Los Angeles court ruled in favor of the star, and at the age of 15, Malone was on her own. She moved out and eventually got her own apartment in Hollywood. She admitted that it was a hard time in her life and she had to grow up quickly. Thankfully, the Hunger Games star's mother eventually admitted her wrongdoing. She claimed that she was taking advice from the wrong people who didn't have her best interest at heart. Though they may have a rocky past, Malone has forgiven her mother, and the two have mended their ties. Aaron Carter. No one can blame Aaron Carter for riding on the coattails of his Backstreet Boy brother Nick. Taking a cue from his older sibling, Carter got into the music business and signed his mother and father as his co-managers. After a world tour and months of performing, when the singer came back home from Florida, he realized the numbers were off in his bank account. According to the singer and his father, his mother had stolen over $100,000 from right under him. This obviously didn't sit well with the teen star, who took matters into his own hands and fired his mother. He even took her to court and requested a legal separation from the parent so that he could cut all ties with her completely. Later interviews with the singer's mom revealed that she blamed her ex-husband, Carter's dad, for everything that went down. She claims the two were going through a divorce, and her ex-husband convinced the child star that his mother was stealing from him. Sadly, that wasn't enough to repair her public image or the family. The mother of 5 is now estranged from 4 of her children and even tried to launch the career of her youngest daughter to no avail. Though more recently Aaron Carter is making headlines for negative reasons, we are pretty sure he is happy to have his mooching mom out of his life. Taylor Momsen. When she was just 2 years old, Taylor Momsen's parents signed a contract for their daughter to be a model with Ford Models. Since then, the ex-Gossip Girl star doesn't remember a time when she wasn't working. While most kids get to go to school and live a normal life, Momsen did the complete opposite. She was in and out of school, she didn't have any friends, and she had no time to be a kid. So when fans started seeing a shift in her attitude, they wondered what the problem was. The star admitted that she blamed her parents for pushing her into stardom at an early age. She claimed that no 2-year-old wants to work, but she had no choice. This led the star to rebel from her parents in the long run. When the actress turned singer was 16, she graduated from high school 2 years early. Under a law in New York, she was legally able to become an adult, meaning she stripped her parents of any rights they had over her. With her newfound freedom, she could tour the world with her rock band without any supervision of her parents. She did eventually apologize to her family for the unkind statements. Thankfully, Momsen still has the full love and support of her parents for the artistic change in her career. Macaulay Culkin. In the early 90s, Macaulay Culkin was easily the most bankable child star on the planet. Thanks to his roles in movies like My Girl and Home Alone, the actor acquired a pretty hefty fortune before he even entered high school. During his years in the spotlight, his father, Kit Culkin, made a reputation for himself in the entertainment industry. According to Hollywood sources, Kit wasn't the most pleasant stage parent to have around. It wasn't long until the child star was able to cut ties with his abusive father. In 1995, Culkin's personal life took a partial turn for the worse when his parents decided to separate. The problem was, both of his parents were acting as his managers. So not only did they have to split the relationship, but they also had to break their contract as co-managers. Because of this, Culkin's parents went to court to battle out who got custody of the child star and his career. The custody battle got so heated that Culkin's attorney threatened to file for emancipation from his parents. Eventually, his father relented and gave custody of Culkin and his siblings to his mother. The last time the now retired actor has seen his father was in 1996. Apparently, they don't even consider themselves related to each other anymore. Considering they haven't spoken in over 20 years, Culkin has spent more time apart from his father than they ever spent together. Drew Barrymore. Actress Drew Barrymore was born into an entertainment industry family. She started working in show business when she was only 11 months old, but it wasn't until she starred in the 1980s blockbuster E.T. that she actually made a name for herself. Though she was already a star at a young age, her mother made sure to destroy her daughter's childhood at a young age as well. Instead of going to school or the park, Barrymore's mom took her to nightclubs like Studio 54. She developed a drinking problem when she was just 11 years old, which eventually led to harsher substances. By the time she was 14, 14, the actress was in rehab. Then, with the consent of her mother, when Barrymore was 15, the star legally declared herself as an adult. This meant that she was out on her own with no guidance on how to be an adult. She even admitted that she didn't know you had to throw out food or it would mold. The child star eventually dropped out of school as well. Thankfully, the mother and daughter are on better terms these days, though Barrymore keeps the relationship at a distance. In 2017, they even got together for Mother's Day, as fans saw when Drew shared a photo of the pair on Instagram. Ariel Winter. Thanks to her role as the middle child on the hit series Modern Family, Ariel Winter is practically a household name. The young star grew up right before her eyes, but it may have been against her will. When she was just 4 years old, the actress's mother pushed her into pursuing a career in acting. Though she admitted she would have eventually found her way into the entertainment industry, being pushed at such a young age had some adverse side effects. While she was shining on the silver screen, things weren't as glamorous in her home life. When Winter was 14, she was removed from custody of her mother because of alleged physical and emotional abuse. The actress even had a file for a restraining order against her mom. Winter was eventually put into custody of her older sister, who later became her legal guardian until she was 17. In 2015, the actress finally received emancipation from her mother and became a legal adult in the state of California. Winter is now in a good place both emotionally and physically. She has claimed that she is thankful for her support system, and she doesn't even speak to her mother anymore. The actress does still have a healthy relationship with her father, so at least she has one parent to lean on when things get tough. Did any of these stories of child stars rejecting their parents shock you? Tell us what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.